Do you have any tips for animators on how we can control a character's weight better?
And when I see that, I feel very inspired.
Yeah.
When there's a time that you feel super passionate, after you watch Spider-Man.
Yeah.
For me, I think Shirley's body mechanics can be improved. I would say maybe the lip syncing can be slightly better.
You mentioned quite a few times about potential. What do you mean by a potential student?
And their passion is not something that they speak or they share out. It's something you see through their craft.
Alright, if that's the case, let's move on to the next one. The next one is Shirley. Shall we? Let's go.
Both also girls.
Yeah.
One time, I said you could go down there, save their lives, start the new timeline, and then come back here to observe them. One time is what I said.
You want to do something fun? You want to go to Taco Bell?
I can't go to Taco Bell. I'm on an all-carb diet. God, Karen, you are so stupid.
All carb diet. Nay, nay.
Call me Nene.
There's a chance you might be in the wrong business, Roger.
Nice.
How? What do you think, Ronald? Higher?
Hey, this 2013, the email is like she registered on that year or just the year she's born or what?
I have no idea.
I like the first one. The first one is quite nice. I would say maybe the lip syncing can be slightly better. Cause I don't know if the audio is delayed or what. Let me double check.
I said you could go down there. I said you could go down there, save their lives, start the new timeline, and then come back here to observe them. One time!
Is this her last assignment?
No, this is the second.
Second assignment?
Yeah.
Oh.
I said you could go down there, save their
There's
lives,
3 assignments.
start the new timeline, and then...
I like the whole acting for the first one. It's very, very nice. Maybe the lip syncing can be more accurate because I'm not sure if it's the timing is off or what, but or maybe the skin color, I can't really see the mouth too clearly. But I think the mouth.
And I also noticed that she pushes quite a lot of shape in there, as in like those uneven shape. Those is a little bit too much to look at.
The acting is very nice. I would say the body silhouette and everything is very, very clear. So if I go shot by shot, this one for me, I think but I really like the acting, all the very nice subtle acting. She acts herself, is it?
Yeah, this is
Very
her
nice.
acting also.
Super nice. Reminds me of a lot of those Disney animators. The reference.
Yes. One of the key point of my class is to fully utilize the video reference.
This one, I'm not sure if the girl behind there, her eyeballs should be looking more to her left or not. I mean, as in looking more here.
Yeah, it seems like they're not connecting, right?
Feels like, I don't know, the first time I saw it, I thought she was looking like directly at the camera here. Like, so I was like, maybe she can look more here. Let's see. For me, I think Shirley's body mechanics can be improved, especially for the dancing one, I would say. This one's not bad. Maybe the hands are slightly stiff, I would say. Despite here, the hands slightly overextended. Maybe in the camera. But then the way the hands kind of move together, we want to try and offset the hands a bit more. This type of movement, try and avoid moving together.
The hand is not as smooth, right? It seems like there's quite a lot of not a follow through movement. and then it did not land nicely to it. This is actually my reference. They actually used my reference to do this.
Or you act out on.
Yeah, but I remember my acting is not as CC.
Okay. I think also just keep in mind the weight of this guy, because this guy looks really heavy. But then the starting part, he looks quite heavy, like the way he stepped. But then at the end here, when he stepped right there, his spacing and the timing is like quite fast. So it looks slightly light at the end of the animation. So you might want to consider playing around a bit more with the timing or the spacing. I think
talking about weight, right? Do you have any tips for animators on how we can control a character's weight better?
I think for weight is mainly about the timing and the spacing, right? If you can make something, heaviness is about basically playing around with the timing and spacing. And for us to understand more, we need to study from the references. So, like if you see a bird fly, it's like very fast now. But if you see like a squirrel move, also it's very light. If you see a dog move compared to a squirrel, right? If you really study frame by frame, right? Their frame is very much more smaller compared to a squirrel or bird. So to control it more is to control and understand timing and spacing more.
And also the consistency. Just now, Ronald did mention a very good point about spacing, right? The squirrels, they move super fast and their movement is always super fast. That really shows the consistency. So if you turn that to a dog spacing, right? A dog spacing is you have slightly more keys in between,
yes,
right?
Keys.
So you make sure you do that throughout the whole clips. So just now the jump animations, right? It seems like some of the movement you go pretty fast, and then when you land, it goes like slightly soft. So the weight kind of changed. It is not as consistent. So if every single step, every single jump that you drop, right, the spacing is consistent, that really shows the weight of this character. So the character will not change weight.
But I think her thinking is correct, right? Like the way her hands react, right? There's like a nice reaction to it, and the way the hips kind of balance himself is correct in a way where you understand balance and you understand like hands follow through. It's just the timing and the spacing only. You have to consider his weight also. For me, the toughest shot for Shirley is, I think it's this shot, because this shot, right, the nene, right, is a very subtle type of movement. So she's not moving a lot, like compared to Andrea's previous one where the hand is like very obvious. Like this one is like a very different type of movement, and it's a very hard to study type of movement. So for her to choose this shot is actually quite daring, I would say. But this
is her first shot.
Oh, this is the first shot. Oh yeah, you told me just now. This shot is really, I would say, for dance animation, for you to do dance animation. A lot of people, I remember last time when I just started animating, my friends think that doing dance animation is the easiest, because you just copy the pose only, you just copy their pose then can already. But it's really, I would say dancing is one of the hardest, especially the ones where you need to really capture the subtlety and everything. This is super tough. I think this whole reel, this shot is slightly the one that would say is not as strong as your other shots. Because if I see your other shots, these are super nice. I like the acting and the silhouette and everything. But if I compare it to this one, then it can be a slight, almost you can feel like, oh, it might be a different animator type of feeling. But word of advice for a reel, right? If you feel like this shot is not as strong, it's okay to take it out. That's all I would say. And then the last one, this one, she put the smoke effects and everything. She used it with Maya, is it?
I have no idea. I didn't teach her to do that.
Very nice. I like the smoke effect. It reminds me of William, our ex-colleague. I like the feeling of her mouth. When her mouth speaks, that time, then her whole head has this very nice, like very organic squash and stretch type feeling.
Like reacting to it, right?
Yeah. Yep, very nice.
Nice. I just want to go through like one shot. I would like to go through the first shot also. The first shot is like what Ronald mentioned. I agree to Ronald. This is the best shot, and you are super smart that you put it in the first one. Just now I did mention about the lip the lips is going a little bit too exaggerated. So that might distract the audience a little bit and we cannot really see the lip sync, the shape of it. So somehow it looks kind of off a little bit. So next time, when you want to do the enhancement, right, maybe we can find some time to do it. Don't do it all the time throughout the whole 10 seconds, right? Some of it, when you want to hold the pose, then maybe you can try doing it more, something like that, right? So don't do it all of, in all the line. Second thing is that I noticed some of the frames, I believe is somewhat around here. I think you squash the cheek a little bit too much already, so the whole facial looks a little bit different. It feels like the model is already off. It doesn't look like her anymore. It looks like another person. So that's something that you have to be careful. Some of the detail on the brow also, you can see I see there's like double brow movement. That is actually very hard to do as a human. So try not to like bounce too quickly unless the whole body is going together with like quick movement. Then only you do so. If let's say you want to do a double blink, right, you only blink the lip, you don't blink the brow. I mean, you don't double blink the brow. Another thing is that in the class I always mention about a contrapostal posing. For example, like this, I see that there is some like slightly higher shape here, but this one is still, I mean, it's just a slight higher. It's not too high, so the impression looks pretty straight line. So that is something that you can try to enhance a little bit more. In this case, if she's looking to that directions, maybe this one can be smaller. Instead, this one can be higher, so that we can create that the contrapostal feeling.
Wow, I haven't done acting so long. I totally forgot about this.
Yeah, so you can do shape like this. It will make the whole character looks extra how to say extra solid, especially on the facial expression side. And every time when you do a squash and stretch, you have like the contrapostal thing, right? It will make your character looks more organic. Like here, when you're looking to that directions, right? This one is correct. You can try to have this like this, so it can flow up to here as well. And since this is this, then you can go this. So the whole thing will flow with your action, your directions that you're looking to that side, flow to that side. Okay. But I like that you have quite a lot of like dots going on. It really makes the character looks alive. Yeah. It feels like the character is looking at something instead of like floating. So the one thing that as an animator, when we're doing acting, we have to be very careful. We do not parent the iris to the head, because it will always go like that, and it will look super weird when it looks like the character is drunk or whatever. But I don't see that in your piece here. It is looking very nice. Line of action, as in like overall you nail it. Overall line of actions, you have a very, very nice silhouette here.
Very Disney.
There's complex. Yeah, very Disney. There's complex, there's simplicity here. It's all looking really good. This small little thing to hold a book, I believe like this cannot hold the book properly, right? There's a gap here, unless the book is very light. If not, I believe we have to
unless the
hold
fingers are like super strong.
Yeah, that you use the finger to grab it. Those are just like small little thing. And another thing, I also hope that this with the dialogue, right? If we listen to the dialogue, come back here. The here is quite stressed now. So I remember I mentioned this to her already. Come back here. The here. This one, if we can have like a bigger spacing, right? It will look faster and we kind of hit the dialogue more. Here. Then it looks good. Here, that's what I mean by the cheek is moving a little bit too much, right? It is looking a bit like auntie already. Then here it looks so young. Look at that, right? This one looks so pretty. This one looks so auntie. Yeah, that's all from me. So Ronald, you hired or not?
Definitely higher.
Wow. But looking at the whole progress of their improvement, we can really see the potential from the students now. Right, nice. Any word of advice think for both of them, Ronald?
I would say the dance one, we can improve it more, or you can choose to take it away lah. Yeah, but I would say good job Good job
Nice,
overall.
good job, both of you. Good
Both
job.
of you, I would say keep up the hard work, keep up the good work. I would say keep it going. You guys have high potential.
Since we are talking about this already, Ronald, can I ask you like one more last question
What up?
before we end this? The question that I want to ask is, just now you mentioned quite a few times about potential. What do you mean by a potential student or potential fresh grad? What do you mean by that?
I think when I see potential, I see it means that when I see their reel, right, I can really see a lot of their effort pouring out. Like there's some animators, when you see their reels, right, you don't feel a lot of their passion. But I think Andrea and Shirley, you can see a lot of their sweat in the demo reel. Especially you see like their first animation, like you feel like they learn a lot already, and then they're really listening to a lot of the feedback and they study a lot. And when I see that, I feel very inspired. A lot of times as a lead animator, so I'm always like, I like to see people's passion, and their passion is not something that they speak or they share out. It's something you see through their craft. And that's why I see potential. Potential is when I see great attitude and I see great hunger. And also when I see their body mechanics, I see like, oh, they understand weight, they understand balance, they understand good poses and everything. That's potential for me. Especially as a game animator point of view, it's like, okay, when you work with me, then it's a lot easier for me to explain, okay, just make sure this is balanced. I just tell you this is balanced, then you understand already. It's gonna make my life easier for me. Yeah. So that's what I mean by potential.
Nice. You know, actually, after a few years of animating, we can actually see through quite a lot of things when we see the worker, when we see the outcome, we can see through the animator's thoughts. How much thoughts or how much effort that you put into animations, because we've been through all of that. Right? Sometimes we've been through some like bad times. We don't feel like animating, so the animations, the output looks a little bit lifeless. When there's a time that you feel super passionate, you know, after you watch Spider-Man or Marvel movie or whatever, you feel like super pumped, then your animation will look better. Or maybe after some Pixar movie, your animation will get slightly better also. And because of that experience, we can see through the attitude, like what Ronald mentioned just now. And that is what we mean by potential. I agree to what Ronald mentioned also. Nice one. So I guess that's about it for today's video. I hope this animation breakdown series will help some of you here. I will keep doing this because I will keep teaching also. Every single semester I'll come with a few students and hope to share all this with more people. Okay, thank you so much, Ronald. Thanks for your time again and again.
Keep up the good work. It's inspiring.
Yeah. Keep up the good work also to both Andrea and also Shirley. Okay, thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. Subscribe and like.